Well, topsy turvy. Oh my god.
Whoa!
Whoa. We didn't do a countdown.
5, 4, 3. And we're back.
We're back. Shamecast. Self-help
Yeah,
and
bro.
managing emotions.
Episode 3, folks.
Episode 3, COVID-19 edition.
Belovid-19.
Belovid-19.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, give you guys some context. I have been stricken with the recent plague.
Just another statistic.
Man.
Just another statistic.
But I think the worst part of it is over, to be honest. Yesterday, it was like, ugh, I don't know. It felt like I was hit by a bus and a train and a plane and couldn't leave my bed. I think I slept for 15 hours. And
And also then all those people who were trying to travel by bus and plane and train had nowhere to go. They couldn't. You messed up their travel plans. Their mode of transportation was all wrecked because it smashed into you.
It crashed into me, like for
There
real.
you
I
go.
mean, and my plans got messed up too. I was supposed to do some shows and stuff, and had to reschedule. But
sucks the fun right out. It sucks the fun right out of everything.
Man,
why you gotta be such a trifling bitch, COVID?
I don't know. She trifled on the wrong turf because I was not having it yesterday.
Bitch ass interfering Rona.
Interfering with my groove. You threw off my groove. You just throw her off. Sorry. All the vaccines and everything falling out. Anyways, so yeah, so I feel about I'm about 65, 70% today.
Do you know how glad I am to hear about that? How glad I am to know that today? That's good feel good stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, tell me, do you see a physical difference as of yesterday and today? Because I was a hot mess yesterday.
Yesterday, you were real boogie snots yesterday. You were real boogie snots all day yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we didn't get to hang out, but we were FaceTiming, and you're for context.
Yeah.
That's what boogie snots. You're a licky-headed woman.
And can I lick you? No. Nobody went like that.
Can I leak? Yeah. Leak.
Leaks out the nose. I think only my family would get that. So if you guys are watching, I'm sure that was a funny joke for you. Cheers.
So did you have any like topics that had popped up that you wanted to like discuss on as far as like shame stuff that had popped up for you this week?
Dude, I mean, we got into a little bit yesterday, didn't we? You know, I feel like, well, apparently there's like stuff going on per usual with the planets and the stars, and I think I always do this. I think there's something happening in retrograde. I'm pretty sure it's Jupiter. I forget already, even though my friend told me like 3 times. But basically, the intentions that I personally had for the beginning of June, because I looked at my journal, I had intentions, right? And it was like right after May 31st, right? That's when my foot was bad and stuff. Like but I put out the intentions to go against all of that and to overcome a lot of things. And then all the planets were doing their thing, and my friend was like, well, yeah, you regressed. Like now everybody feels like we're going backwards, and like all these like little minor like old pattern things are going to pop up, and it's like, are you going to allow that old behavior, or are you going to do something about it? And the fact that well, I think it started last year for me, last summer actually, that I started noticing a lot of like my mini hangups that like, it's just like residual, like leftover just stuff from like past trauma. Part of letting go and releasing like kind of came up a little bit. So I've been able to see how and why certain behaviors of mine come up. So that feels like a win, because not only, if my behavior is a little off, I'm able to like kind of catch it right away and be like, oh, I see what it is, and I apologize, and I'm sorry, and I know where it's coming from. Um, and then I know, okay, well, we've revisited that behavior, and now we know for a fact, don't do that. It's not worth it. Let's come on. And but I think it's funny because I've noticed how my body gets too, and it's all linked. Like your body kind of has a reactive system. And I would just read a post. Actually, I should pull it up because it's really important, and I think it's helpful for a lot of people to kind of see. And it was an eye opener for me. So let's go to here and here. Um, so, coming from an emotionally negligent or abusive childhood is not just something to get over. Psychological damage, stress, and emotional abuse quite literally make us sick and rob our lives. Living in a state of constant stress activates intense adrenal fatigue. When the stress hormone spreads, a reaction is leaky gut. Leaky gut is small holes in the intestines that bleed out our undigested food back into our bloodstream. Leaky gut is a huge issue of pain in the joints and body. The toxins deposit in other areas of the body, and the body does its job, which is to try to fight it off. This is seen in a lot of fibro cases. High levels of stress compromise the gut, and from there, we can get sick. A child that is psychologically abused will have a compromised gut biome and a brain response that sees the world through the eyes of danger. It reduces activity in your hippocampus, which means you can't distinguish past from current. You grow up with that intense stress in your body. Adrenal fatigue is very common in survivors of abuse. Gut issues are common for those from abuse. Gut health is the epicenter of our body's overall health, and it's been compromised since childhood and impacting our brains. We're more than likely to stay in those same patterns. This is why our body's healing and health must be considered in our emotional healing journey. Not only does trauma carry genetically in gene expression, but it can be affected by your own trauma. Some really heavy things to consider in emotional healing is traveling back into your mother's history. We often carry their trauma stories in the kidneys, and our vagus nerve attaches to theirs in birth to calm them down. Not only do we take in certain energetic markers of the emotional state in the womb, but the level of cortisol in our bodies is regulated by glucocorticoid receptors. I apologize. The gene for that receptor is highly influenced by how our mothers treated us as babies. Their way of care could be inherited by their mother, etc. So, healing is so much deeper, and there are some ways that can help, which is acupuncture, inner child healing, parasite liver or mold detox, EMDR therapy, sound healing, Reiki, um, the emotions that you couldn't feel as a child, allowing that divine anger to come through, gut healing, nervous system. So that was a fun little tidbit I saw today. And
Journey.
yeah, it was a journey, all right. And you know what? I did do some of those practices if anyone's like curious. Like, well, does it really work? It sounds like woo woo to me. Um, I will be the first to say amongst many that it has helped me a lot. I've done EMDR therapy. That was huge because I got to be in a safe space and revisit a lot of traumatic things that have happened in my life, growing up from childhood all the way into my 20s. So I had a lot to work through. And Reiki, which our friend Dami um, does, and that's helped me a lot. And the inner child healing is a great tool as well. And I mean, you could talk about that with your therapist or whatever. And that book, which I forgot to text you earlier today and tell you to have it with you, but maybe the next episode we'll dive into that book that I gave you.
Which book is that?
Mm, how to,
Okay, okay, I know what you're talking about.
you know what
Okay.
I'm talking about? Hold on,
Mm-hmm.
but I need to make sure I can say it full. How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole LePera. Shout out to the holistic psychologist that was from Philly, but she lives in LA now. But her book is amazing, amazing. Like one of the top sellers. Highly recommend. She really dives deep and she knows what she's talking about. And so, if anyone, please, I recommend that book and read it or get it on Audible. Get both and read along. Really great stuff. So yeah, I've definitely, and because of like my recent events, revisiting a certain part of my trauma and kind of putting it to rest, some old behaviors came up. So kind of was like, oh, okay, get out. So I don't know. Did you have any discoveries this week? Anything you want to share?
No, not as much, but I feel like if I could just kind of piggyback off of some of that, and I kind of would hope that like sometimes when I sit with you and listen, and then I give my feedback, I just hope that it 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 plays as sincere and valid. I mean, because like I I I for sure uh, want to make sure that I'm cool. It's cool that I speak my mind on certain things when I do when I tell you my opinions on things, and I because a lot of times I'll be like, baby, that's not you anymore. Like you're grown past that. Like you're like that's the old way. That's the old shit. That like the old like programming inside of you that's like telling you to feel that way. And me telling you that is hopefully not taken as a dismissive way. Because for sure, feel those feelings, and it's fully fine to feel those feelings, but recognize that they are what they are.
Mm, hmm.
But at the same time, for me to say I know what they are and that's exactly what they are, that's presumptuous on my end.
I appreciate you acknowledging that. No, I think you're a really great listener, and I appreciate that you in a partner, and you give me so much grace. I think it's important for people to know. Before we get to these questions, I think this is a great thing to talk about. You you have compassion, and even if I have days where it's like, you know, old programming or like that shameful side of me like pops up, where Dolores, as we like to call her, likes to infiltrate the party and start some shit. You're kind of like over there like, hey, no, no, no. Shh, come back, like, look at me, like, or it kind of feels like the best way I can put it is when I feel like I'm splashing around and I'm trying to not drown, you're over there like, hey, it's you're standing in shallow water.
I'm
Stand up.
be singing that Baywatch theme song.
Yeah, and you,
I'll be ready, and I'll be running all slow,
yeah,
slow
that's kind of
motion,
hot. Yeah, dude. All right.
with that red boat thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get one of
yeah.
them red boat things.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I will say that like sometimes, like I know that you said that you don't want to come off as presumptuous, but like maybe sometimes when I'm like at the height of those feelings and I'm expressing them to you, maybe just hold back a little bit on like when you want, like maybe don't say it like right away. Like just like let me feel it, and then like when I'm calming down, then you, cuz like when I'm like up there and I'm like at the height of my frustration, I just want to like cry, and like it's not it's about the timing for me,
Mm-hmm.
like because like then it that because like I know you don't mean to be dismissive, but like sometimes it does feel like that, like, oh, and like uh yeah, but that's it. Like but I know that you don't mean it to be dismissive. It's just something I don't want to hear right away, like
Mm-hmm.
but I guess for me, I'll try to be better and say, hey, I just need to vent, to
Mm-hmm.
kind of like give like a green light of, okay, she just needs you to listen, and then like because I know that that's that's the masculine in you, like you want to fix and you want to like help the situation. So I totally understand like where you're coming from.
Okay.
No, is
No.
that
I, okay. Noted. Noted. I mean, I, 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 I fully don't think I'd be able to fix, so I wouldn't try to. Like, I really just want to um, share my perspective, and that's the most white privileged male shit ever. Yes, I just want to share with you my opinion I have on it, as
well,
if
no,
as if it's got to be the right answer. What I think it is. No, I fully get it. I fully understand where you're coming from. I but judgment is not entering into any of the zones here.
no, that's the complete like not part of this show. Like
Yeah.
no. This is good. These conversations are needed, and like they're needed in every relationship, and I'm really happy that we can have them. You know, you make me feel so free to be myself and free to express my feelings, and
more
that's important.
more that's pretty neat. That's
Yeah,
pretty neat. That's pretty
yeah.
neat.
And I'm happy when you express your feelings to me and your opinions. So don't stop doing it.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, sometimes I'm too like highly stimulated from like my blob to like let it.
There was this commercial in the like 80s or 90s or something, and it was for like some program to get a degree or something, and the commercial was like, it says, "Are you stuck in a dead end job?" And then it was this guy inside of a box that he couldn't get out of, and he was like stuck in a dead end job. And I was picturing that guy in that box when you were like, "Oh, I'm in my thing."
Yeah, yeah, because I'm only there for like, so I mean I do, I don't plan to be there longer than like less than a day, like I need a good nap, sometimes it's just my inner child, like it's little, that's all it is, it's my little 5-year-old going, man, I don't feel good, me, like the, I want a nap, like because that's what it is sometimes, like our bodies, like we overwork, like so many of us are what's the word I'm looking for, we're overworked, we're burnt out, and we've clearly seen
As
how
The French would say, fatigue.
fatigue, sure, sure, um yeah, the fatigue, yeah, so it's just, it's just like my little and her 5-year-old being all tired and cranky and but she's happy now. She's well fed. She had a really long nap.
And you got the COVID still.
And I still got the COVID.
You still got the COVID a little bit.
Well, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there was no way I would have been able to do this yesterday. I was like a ghost.
Yeah, you were like, you want to still do this? I was like, no, go to sleep.
What? No. I was like, can we wait till?
You still want to do this?
No. I asked you. I was like, can we wait till tomorrow when I feel a little better? Maybe less like stuffy.
There was this movie called In the Army Now with Pauly Shore and Andy Dick, and it was like they like got sent to war or whatever, and then like this truck that they were near was gonna explode, and it blew up, and Andy Dick, I guess, had some sinus thing, and he said it's gonna explode. And he said, like, explode. Like, the way he said it, I just never stopped thinking about that when thinking about things are going to explode.
That's definitely how I was talking yesterday.
Mm-hmm. It was all stuffy.
All stuffy. And then last night I couldn't stop coughing, like, at all. Like, nothing helped. I had to, like not die from, like, having a cough drop in my mouth, like, while I'm sleeping, I'm like, well, don't swallow it. But also, it's the only thing that's, like, stopping you from coughing. Like, so it was a great magic trick.
Do you want to say what kind of cough drops they were so that we can say that this episode's brought to you by that cough drop?
Ricola.
Put in promo code SHAME and you'll get 0% off.
Oh my god. You're speaking into existence. It's fine. We'll get there. We'll get there. So fun little fact. We have a fun caller, a caller that we don't know. I mean, we didn't. Well, we knew some before, but we don't know this one. So this is fun. This is exciting.
Oh, you are really volunteering, showing people how the soup is made.
Oh my god. I'm excited.
And you were like, it's a Google Voice number. No, just leave us a voicemail. And then you're like, oh, our friends are calling and leaving fake messages. Like, why are you telling everybody how everything? This is show business, baby. We're making a show.
Do you want to stop and start over? I don't
No,
know.
not at all. No, I'm just busting your chops.
Oh my god, I was gonna say.
No, baby, I was just messing around. Let's get to these messages. All right, this one I for sure don't know who this person is, and this is anonymous. The show, it's anonymous, so I don't know who it is. But check and listen to this.
What would do? My girlfriend, she don't like to shower every day, so I don't want to hurt her feelings or nothing, but help me, please. What to tell her something or what to do? What would do? My
Okay, so that question was asking what to do about his girlfriend not showering regularly enough.
Oh man.
So, the only present girlfriend in this situation should weigh in on that first.
Okay. All right. I think that that first off, thanks for calling and thanks for asking us. This is really cool of you. So welcome to the show, and I hope what we have to say helps. But we'll see. So, well, first off, it depends. There's a couple of factors here, but how long have you been with her is one, because I feel like there's like a fine line, like that note, like that, like you can cross if you've been together for a certain amount of time. But so I mean, definitely think about that. And I mean, if it's been longer than like 2 months, then yeah, I would say something. Maybe less. I mean, if you guys are being intimate, but um, I would definitely say something on the lines of, "Hey, like I'm having so much fun with you, and I love hanging out with you. Um, but it feels like uh, it feels like I can't really fully enjoy our time together because I have difficulty with distraction with your hygiene." I don't know. And then I would say, or maybe I don't know if there's like there really is no, I guess, right way to say it. Let's say, it feels so good for me, and I want to continue being close with you. So it would feel really good for me if you could um, take a take a shower more often, or you, right, you, good sir out there, if she has a bathtub, right, you set up a bath, like make it about her, like make put candles and stuff around the bathtub and be like, hey, so I've set up this bath for you. Yeah, and it would turn me on, and it would make me feel really good for you to like feel like a goddess and like put yourself in that tub. Like I want to feel you like fresh and like the top goddess that you are. I want you so fresh and so clean. Like, you know what I mean? Like kind of, yeah. Like I mean that's what I would do. Like I try to like I don't like I don't want to say manipulate, but like it's a way that kind of serves both of you, because if you're doing something so nice and romantic for her, and like I don't know a lot of women, I don't know any women that would say no to something like that. Like, oh my god, yeah, you know um and and then like, because then that kind of leaves out you telling her, yo, you smell. you know um uh I don't know. I mean, we had. Do you want to? Well, no, it's not as similar.
What? What are you trying to say?
I was gonna bring up something from like a year ago, but maybe
I don't know
the
what you're talking about.
remember rem, remember when um you were like, why won't you shower with me? And
Oh,
then
oh, oh! Because yeah, you wouldn't shower. You wouldn't shower with me because my bathroom was dirty.
right.
Oh, right, 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 right. So
So
you think this person's girlfriend will be dirty herself and not shower every day just for the fact that maybe his shower's not clean? Other showers exist other places.
no, I was just trying to like, I was gonna say like my dialogue was like kind of similar. Like I didn't point at you, and I wasn't accusatory to you. I just said your bathroom kind of makes me feel uncomfortable, and I didn't know how to tell you. And I even said, I said, I'm really sorry. I don't mean to say this in any kind of mean way, but I feel uncomfortable. And you heard me. Like I wasn't mean. I wasn't like complaining. I didn't know how to tell you, and I didn't want to overstep any kind of bounds either. But you heard me, and you went above and beyond. Like you were like, oh, and you went right to it. Like, and I didn't have to say that again. Like you heard me and you received it. So my point in bringing up that story is saying, like, it's the way that you do it and the way that you say it. Just make sure that she hears you and she receives it. And if she can't receive it, I mean, that could be a deal breaker for you. Like, do you want to, I mean, personal hygiene is very important. It's 2022, people. you know, like you got to care about that kind of stuff. And some people, they don't get it, or maybe they didn't have the privilege, or they didn't get taught that. I don't know, but you know, go and learn. And but I think the idea of setting up a nice bath and making it romantic and letting it be about her is a good way to go. I don't know. What do you think, man, of the relationship?
So, so I really really like the idea of making it seem like a pampering where you're like, look at these great soaps and oils and stuff that I got for you. Like, look, this is all like if let's say she were to purchase one of the things in your line of shower stuff, perhaps that would be a decent idea. You wanna throw a sponsored ad in here real quick for
Yo, why are you a genius? Why? The Bath and Body collection of pure romance. Listen, I got stuff on stuff. You come visit me. You find me on social media, okay?
fun stuff.
I, this is all different kinds of bath and perfume and beauty products. I got it all, man. And you just tell me, you come over to my office and you smell all the different kinds of scents that I have available. You tell me which one you want her to smell like, and then you buy it, you bring it over to her as a gift, and you set it up with the candles and everything. I'll coach you through the whole way. You get a little bud and you put it in your ear. Like, all right, go. You find me on Instagram, Alyssa_Marie_romance, okay? And we'll talk. Yo, ultimate, this is why you're so good, baby. You're a genius. Or if you don't want to go to me, that's totally fine. Just look up Pure Romance and go on their website. And there's so many different products on there for skincare and bath. Dude, we got bubble baths. You could set her up in a bubble bath that keeps the pH levels balanced. Take care of you.
So more on what I was thinking was a lot like, hey, I think it would be great if we shower together more often.
Mm-hmm.
If turn it into a group activity,
Mm-hmm.
turn it into something fun. Turn it into something like, hey, maybe let's recreate making out in the rain, or something. You could say something like that. Say like, oh, when like there's the big romantic drama, like the orchestral like soundtrack in like a movie when they're making out in the rain. You can do that.
Yeah.
Turn it into something special and romantic. But then also be like, hey, while we're in here, let me mention you need to be doing this every single day.
You know what? But maybe even word it in the goddess again, right? So like you're both in the shower, and take it apart, like wash her, like it's fun. It's fun to wash your partner because like you can like and like it'll build that intimacy. So like you get in the shower, like all right. So I feel like the first cool thing would be the bath, like get that pampering feeling and make her feel good, and then you take it to the next level. You the next time, because you're gonna want to do it more often, right? Because you want her to do it more often. So you say, all right, well next time I'm gonna get in the shower with you. Then you guys get in the shower together, and then you can like lather her up and like talk to her all like sexy and like make her feel good about herself and be like, you're such a goddess, baby. Like, and I love like cleaning you, and like I love like just making you feel and smell so good, and like it really brings me joy. It turns me on. What else could you say? It could be like, you know, and the more that you do this, the more I want to be close with you, and the more I want to see you. So like you're saying it without saying it, but like you know what I mean? Like, because I feel like a lot of people have a hard time. I mean, we all have a hard time. We all have a hard time with straight up truth, like bluntness. I mean, there's some people that like don't mind dishing it out, but I'm personally the type that likes, just a little bit of sugar, please. Like, don't do that. Like, don't give me don't give me the spice too soon. Like, could you just, tell me nicely, like, hey, man, what's going on? Like, um, but yeah, it's I think what a great idea, babe. I didn't even think about the shower thing together. What a great idea.
Also, if anybody who else is watching or listening, uh, write down in the comments what you think might help this caller, might help this anonymous caller who's dealing with this, because he said please help. I mean, that's not just limited to you and I. That's limited. I mean, there's no limits. That's help this person.
Right.
If we
Yeah.
can. And I'm very much hoping that any of the suggestions or advice that you would have heard from Alyssa and I would be something that would be easily applicable to your situation. And I hope that you figure it out. And I have a whole lot more like follow-up questions that I feel like maybe wouldn't be something that you can answer or I can ask, but it's more along the lines of like, how old is this woman? Is she a mother? Like, there's a whole bunch of questions that jump right into my head about like why, like potential reasons why showering every day is not a thing. And maybe have a conversation with her and see if you can like go around the back door to find out the reason why she might not be showering as often. Maybe there's a health issue. Maybe there's something with, like a bad leg. You can't stand up in the shower or something like that. Maybe just to kind of try to get to the bottom of it, sift through some of the soot and understand the root of it.
That's a really good point. Yeah, because you never know. I mean, I've known people that had like certain health issues that it didn't matter like how much they tried to keep up with their hygiene, they still like kind of gave off a not so great smell. And it sucks, like, because like sometimes it's just out of people's control, or or depression. It could be that too. I mean, that's so it would definitely be good to kind of have a
Depression
conversation.
stinks.
But yeah, and like yeah, for sure. And like, moms out there, like it's hard for if she's a mom, for sure, like it's hard for moms to get time for themselves. So, again, like the pampering thing, definitely helped there too. But I don't know. I think we got a lot of good takes here. When I first heard the question, I was like, I don't know.
Where are we gonna go with this one?
But yeah, this is cool. I hope we helped you out there, and anybody else that has suggestions, drop it in the comments for our dear friend, because at the end of it all, he really cares about her. You really care about this woman, so like, give yourself a pat on the back for like asking for help and like asking someone to give you some advice on it, because like you wouldn't be doing this if you didn't care about her. So like, know that your good intentions are there, and like, she'll see that and she'll feel that. Yeah.
And anybody else who feels like there's something that they can't talk to their partner about, or just maybe wants some advice on how they could handle the situation. If you think that it'd be helpful to call and leave us a message, the number's on the bottom of the screen, 856-209-4413. The S.H.A.M.E Cast, Self-Help and Managing Emotions. We do have to update that outgoing message.
Yeah,
Still.
but
if you want to get on the ground floor and hear what the original one was, go ahead and leave us a message. Go ahead and call and leave us a message before we get a chance to switch to the outgoing message. But yeah, it's a fun one, sure.
Yeah, no, next week we'll be switching it out. So that's on the agenda.
So is great, guys. We really appreciate. Thanks for calling and leaving that message. We really appreciate it, friend. And we're gonna go ahead and play the second and last message that we'll play on this Shamecast 3.
Rad.
What would do?
Oh, nope, not that. Nope, same question.
Hi, I heard on your last show you were talking about finding something that you love, finding love in at least one thing. I heard someone else talk about you should never really love just one thing, because if that one thing leaves your life, whether it be a class you're taking or a skill or whatever that you're learning, if that one thing leaves your life, then it feels like your whole world is gone. And I was wondering what you guys thought about that. Hi, I heard on your last show.
Hey, shut up! Don't ask us again. We only want it once.
Huh. So, that's such a great question because it syncs up with what I was listening to today. And I will pull up the title of it so everyone could listen.
So, I think if I'm gonna, do you want to go first on this one, babe?
I was just gonna say what I that question kind of syncs up with what I was listening to. I was listening to Super Soul.
Super Soul.
Oprah
Sunday.
Yeah, Super Soul Sunday, but it's like every day for me. And it was special.
Mr. Contact.
It was a special with Elizabeth Gilbert, and it's called The Curiosity Driven Life, I think. Right? Yes. So, in a nutshell, she talked about how Elizabeth talked about how she was a speaker talking about going after your passion, and like, you know, a lot of people, if you're lucky enough, know what their passion is from like the get. Like I knew from when I was a kid, I'm a singer, and like I've always kind of steadfast onto that path, no matter what I was doing around it. But then she had someone write to her telling her how that person felt even worse about themselves after going to her talk, because this person in particular didn't have any specific passion, never did, couldn't find it, and didn't know what to do. And she just kind of felt like, well, you made me feel worse. And so in this talk, she talks about how there is no linear anymore. You can just find curiosity in everything and like expand. And that's kind of what you and I are in the middle of. Like we do this. And you know, for a long time I've beaten myself up because I would start things and I would have so much enthusiasm and then I'd stop, or I would lose interest and I would see something else and let's go. And then, let's figure this out. Let's go do this. And I want to be all the things and do all the things all at once at the same time, everything happening all at once. We should watch that movie. But it's
You're right.
Yeah.
I do want to watch that movie.
Rad. That's what we're doing next Friday.
Cool.
But yeah, so what was this question? If we believe if there's one or
so the opinions on finding one thing and also it was like if that one thing's taken from you, that kind of thing. I think that this is kind of going from the statement I made on the show last week about celebrating your things, like celebrating one thing that you can find to celebrate. I don't know if it was focus your love and your passion in your life on the one thing that you're celebrating, but it's like every accomplishment is next level once it's celebrated. But for sure, when it comes to the part of it that, like, dude, I started thinking about this today. I've never like picked up a thing and then been automatically great at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never been a natural right from the word go good at anything, skilled at anything. Never good at any video games ever. Never good singer. Never a good dancer. Never like that. I had to work really hard for a very long time to consider myself a good wrestler. Like that took me a really long time to do, and I still don't think I'm that good of a comedian. I like it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to like, I think this is where I sometimes will self-sabotage myself, and I started learning this about myself today because we were playing a game of like name that tune during this all hands meeting at work today.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was winning. I was hardcore winning. And I don't hardcore win anything ever. And everyone started getting mad at me. So then I started like sitting out. Like oh, I'll give other people a chance to win on this a little bit. And then like they sucked. And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I guess I got to keep playing." And they were like, "Oh, this is competitive. Just be competitive with it." And I was like, maybe that's the formula for why I'm not achieving. Maybe because I feel bad when I win. Because that means somebody else has to lose. Mm-hmm. And maybe there's like a bigger, deeper onion peel off of that.
Mm-hmm.
But
you know what's go ahead.
I think that's somewhat part of the stuff we grew up knowing, like, and learning, I guess, would be like, oh yeah, everybody who wins anything had to beat somebody else, and most of them it wasn't fair, and there was a scam involved, and like everybody who got anything got it by crooked means. And yeah, I guess. Sorry, I was just going back into my deep work and not commenting on how I felt about our question. It's cool to have a kind of an intention that serves as your path's GPS, kind of like the one through line that kind of is flexible as well, because when like a course you're taking or whatever examples that were in that message, and those things can end. Everything and anything can end. Mm-hmm. So I guess you have to have a not have to, but you would be better off perhaps having a relationship with yourself outside of that thing too.
Uh-huh. You know, and I think I want to touch on both, but I want to get to his question. I have felt both ends of that, because when I was 25, I was being told by family and friends, some friends, most friends were supportive, but you know, some people would say things like, well, you're 25, you'll never make it. You should probably stop. You should probably go be a hairdresser or something. Like, don't even think about being a singer anymore, right? And, you know, or you're living on a pipe dream, cut it out. You know, you're not going to survive. Whatever. But it was so ingrained in my soul, and it still is. You know, I'm just kind of taking it day by day, and maybe not so much of this this crazy thirst. Like I'm very much still hungry for the opportunities, but I'm not going to worry and create all this, but I gotta, because it's kind of repelling in a way. So I'm learning to relax into it and just be, and allow opportunities to show up. But my point is, I've always been on this path of, I'm going to be a singer. I'm going to beat my drum and be the singer. And after a while, there was a time in my life where I was like, wow, well, what if you don't? Like, what if you're not? What if this whole time, like, it was just, you just happened to be born with this gift, and you're gonna fall to the wayside, and you're just gonna be one with the society. And I had to sit with that and think. And I think at one point, that's when like pure romance kind of showed up. And if anything, pure romance taught me to use that as a catalyst to still go after my dreams. And I very much did that. Talk about it on other episodes and whatnot, so I don't want to dive into it. But the fact is, I did find another outlet that I also had passion for. And I think the idea is you can have more than one passion. You can be passionate about a lot of things. It's just whatever brings you the most joy, I think, is your main niche. And if you can, keep the joy in that, and keep going with it, then hooray. And even if it leaves you, just kind of tell yourself, it served its purpose, it served its time, it was not for nothing. um, and or it could be a door leading to another opportunity later, and you're just not there yet, you just don't see it yet. So I think that's a good way to look at it. And I think it's, someone like me that's grown up with having to always have a backup plan, or always have some kind of extra form of income or something, or just kind of rely on myself in many ways. I've found different jobs that I was always passionate about. So I know, all right, well, that didn't work out. Time to go back over here. And like, kind of, it's just fun for me, I guess. What I can say, it's probably a small part of my ADHD that kind of likes to jump around, because it's always that constant dopamine and that constant um hmm, help me. um the oh, I said the word earlier today, stimulation. To to kind of like, just keep the interest going, and kind of like mix it up. Um but yeah. So, and if there is one thing that you do in your life that is your beaten path, like narrow thing, try to find creative ways to keep yourself motivated in that specific thing. Like, maybe do a different technique in that day. Like, I'll use singing as an example, because that's the best thing I could use right now. So, different ways that keep me practicing and singing. I'll look up different warm ups, and I'll learn something new. And I'm like, oh, well, that's fun. And then, like, it keeps me engaged and wanting to keep practicing and keep, beating down the path. So that's helped. So, whatever it is that you do in your life that is your constant thing, maybe look at little ways that you can create games and activities around your career path. So, yeah. And if it leaves your life, then it was a cool chapter, and there's many more different passions and chapters awaiting you. I think we answered.
These are teachable moments.
Yeah.
Learn the lessons that come from each journey, and apply them to the next one to just have continued good journeys.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's things that I didn't know years ago. Like, I mean, pure romance is a great example for this. There's things that I didn't know in pure romance that I'm applying now, or like things that I saw back then that I was like, that's kind of weird and to do, and then it clicks. Like, Pete Holmes talked about that in his episode last week with Val, and he's like, there's certain spiritual teachings that like don't officially sink in. It's the same thing with different stuff in your life. Like, you see an idea and you're like, that doesn't make sense, and then it sinks in and it clicks, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
A couple years ago, Pete Holmes had Elizabeth Gilbert on his podcast too. If you want to listen to that, I thought that was pretty decent. I really loved Eat Pray Love. That was a cool movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. Would you believe it?
Well, it's time.
It's
time. It is time.
It is time.
It is.
Oh man.
Yo, everybody who's checked the show out, we've loved and appreciated all your guys' support. It's been awesome, and we're very grateful for the attention that we've been getting. Like as big or as little as it is, we appreciate it. We appreciate the effort. The currency of effort is so important to me. I mean, as obvious, it's been said in every single episode of every show I've ever been on. The currency of effort is so. I'm so glad that you spent it here. If you could do us a favor, leave us a I'm sorry. I don't like to word things like that. I don't like a favor. Support us. Support us. Like the videos. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll get new episodes every Sunday. This is our Super Soul Sunday.
Hey, I like that. Hey. And you know what else though? Cause, oh man, I'm about to be real corny. Cause you're my Super Soul.
Soulmate.
Oh my god.
Oh,
yeah.
You're so yeah. There's just high fructose corn syrup all over that.
Yeah, well, it's banned in a lot of countries.
It's just oozing out of your pores.
You're welcome. But no, and I mean, this is just, yeah, like you said, even if it doesn't reach so many or what have you, like, I'm just happy to have these. I'm happy to have these conversations with you.
Yeah, it's gonna make us. It's gonna make us better. It'll make us better in the long run. And it also off the record, no one's hearing me say this. No one's hearing me say this right now. But we can look at other people's stuff and be like, "Oh, we ain't so bad, huh? We ain't so bad. We're doing all right." JK, LOL, cut that part out.
But you're not gonna.
No.
I love this.
This is hopefully gonna be just the beginning, it's cool that you're jumping in on a time before the bandwagon grows so big. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you comment. Make sure you leave us those messages. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Instagram.com/Alyssa_Marie_romance.
Yeah.
Cory Kastle.
I'm still not doing it right.
Yeah, the directions. The directions are.
Oh wait. Are we doing it again? We're doing it on the air.
I was trying, but I couldn't get there.
There you go.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Have a great weekend, guys. Or week.
Okay, everybody, enjoy yourselves. Be kind to others and yourselves. Be fun. Have safe. Keep evolving.
Keep evolving.